What up, everyone? So, it is time for the monthly review. This is the monthly review for October, and you may be wondering why we're doing October review when we're well into November. That's basically because these boxes arrived so incredibly late. The boxes from October just finished getting here a couple days ago. Most of them there's an excuse for, like Lootaku. It comes from Hong Kong, so it takes a long time to get here, so it's no surprise that it comes well into the next month. But other boxes, like Comic Block and Arcade Block, there's really no excuse. They ship them incredibly late, and they don't come from that far away. They come from Canada or New York, but it still comes like well into the following month, even though it's from the previous month. So that's usually why the monthly reviews are well into the following month. But, you know, it shouldn't matter too much, I realize, because it's not necessarily about specifically what's in the box that month. It's still just a comparison of boxes, so it's still just to help you find the better box, because you're not going to go back and get what you've already seen here, because the month has passed anyway, so it shouldn't matter too much when I do a monthly review. It's still about, like, which one's your specific taste, and it should still be the same. So anyway, a brief introduction if you're new to the channel. Hello. So what we do here is we review boxes and we put them head to head to help you find the best box for you. One of the questions I get asked most on the channel is, what's the best box? And the plain simple answer is there isn't one. There is no best box. I wouldn't be here if there was a best box. If there just was one, I would just show off that one and be done. They're all different, they're all for different tastes and likes, so it depends on what you like. Now you can kind of get in there and see which ones have better value or which ones have more exclusive and kind of figure it out, but it's still personal taste. Depends on what you like it's collectibles or figures or artwork, Marvel versus DC versus something else. It just all depends. So that's what this is for, to give a brief introduction to each box here, talk about it a little bit, talk about what was in it that month, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I have 9 boxes this month, I believe. 9. So we're just going to go through them and talk about them pretty briefly, and I'll try to keep this video as short as possible. And also, I'll have timestamps in the description. If you just want to see one specific box, look in the description. I have timestamps so you can skip ahead to that. Or, if you just want to see what's in the box and not hear me talk, skip to the end and I'll have just pictures. So, without further ado, the month of October was a really good month, actually. Overall, everything was pretty great. There wasn't really a bad box in the bunch. Now, I've kind of weeded out the bad boxes over time. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and I've kind of just done away with boxes that aren't that great consistently. And I've kind of got the best of the best here, so it's getting harder to put them in order. Because this month was really fantastic. It was really hard to pick a 9th place because even the 9th place was still a really great box. There was nothing wrong with it at all. So I had to be really critical here and try to put them in order. So for this month specifically, don't worry too much about what number each box gets. It's going to be more of a brief description of what that company offers if you're interested in it. Because like I was saying, they really are head to head. They did a fantastic job. I don't think a single box this month got lower than like a 6 or a 6.5. So that's never happened before. There's usually at least a couple that did terrible, but over time they've just been getting better and better. So I was thoroughly surprised. So I'll do the best I can I did the best I can to put them in order. But you know, I'm not perfect. Anyway, starting out with number 9. Number 9 is Lootaku. So, I really like Lootaku. I think this is a fantastic box. And I feel really bad giving this the 9th place spot because it's not a bad box. There's no reason this should be on bottom as far as quality. The only reason that this is lower down is because of the value. Since this is a foreign box, you have to pay a lot more money for shipping, and that does have to be taken into consideration because that's money you have to give out, and that's money you want back as far as value in the box. Now, they always give the money you pay, so that's never a problem. It's not like you're ever losing money. But the ideal situation is to try and get double what you paid for. Doesn't always happen, but ideally that's what you would want. This one, it's much harder to do it since it's such a big box and it's shipped from Hong Kong. There's a lot of money that's spent in shipping. So it doesn't get as high a value as the boxes that are here in America. So that's pretty much the only reason. Because other than that, it really is a great company and a great box. This company, you're going to get a lot of stuff that you're not going to see from American companies. Since it's from Asia, you're getting stuff that's exclusive to there that you don't really see here. And that's really something special that no other box offers. So that's really cool. And I always like the themes they picked. They had a Dragon Ball box, which they did awesome, and they're doing another one next month. This one was Pokemon, which we haven't really seen much in America, and the next one is Street Fighter, which again, like, it's all topics that the American boxes don't really ever touch on that much. So it's really nice to see them keeping it fresh and having like new ideas and having things in there you don't really see before. So that's the only reason. That's why I said I had to be really critical about these to put them in order. I think this is a fantastic company and a great box, and I'm never disappointed from them. It's just, it's a little expensive. It costs $65 to get it here in America, so it's sometimes you get double your value, but it's a pretty rare situation, and it's not really their fault. It's just, it's shipping. There's not much you can do about it. Until we perfect the teleportation process, we're still going to have to pay a shitload of money in shipping, and that just sucks. It's really a bummer. But I'd say this box is totally worth it if you're interested in like Japanese style like figures and like anime and things like that. Definitely go with them. And if you're tired of seeing the same old Funko stuff in every box, this is the box for you. Anyway. Yeah, as far as the items in this month specifically, I thought it was great. It wasn't their best one. It was kind of a weird mashup. They had Pokemon and Harry Potter, both great franchises. Seems odd to put them in the same box together. I feel like they should have just done an all Pokemon one, to be quite honest, because there's really no shortage of Pokemon items out there. It's really been around a long time, and it's had a big resurgence because of Pokemon Go. So I think they could have just done a whole Pokemon box. That was me, but you know, that was nothing wrong with switching it up. I'm sure they had reasons for it. But yeah, the Pokemon stuff was like plush and small figures, and the Harry Potter stuff was more like collectibles. So it was good to get a mix of both. But yeah, again, the only reason it's slowed down is because of the value. But definitely worth checking out, and I'm really excited to see it next month because Street Fighter is something I'm a really big fan of, so I'm excited to see what's in there. Alright, number 8 is Collector's Case. Now, they've been doing this bigger box version lately. It's called the Popped Edition. They make it a little bigger to fit more stuff in there, which is a good thing. And this was a great box too. It had good value. It had a good variety of stuff in there. The only reason this one got lower down is because a lot of the stuff wasn't very collectible, I'd say. This is called the Collector's Case, so you'd think it would be things for collectors. And a lot of times it is, but a lot of times it's also like promo stuff. Like we often see like new card games in there, and this one had a bunch of games. Not that there's anything wrong with getting games in there, but it's always like new ones. It's not established card games, it's always new ones, so it's hard to pick up like a new card game all the time or a new game to play. It'd be nice if they did ones that we already have recognized. So that's just a little thing where it's like, doesn't make it bad or anything. You still get a ton of stuff in there, and it has good value. And they also give incentives for like autographed items, which I got this month. The actor that played Pinhead, Brad something, can't remember his name. But yeah, so they have cool incentives in there, which I like to see. That's for collectors. That's really cool. And the other thing was, versus these other boxes, again, not that this was bad, it's just other boxes had a lot of exclusive stuff. They have exclusive figures, they have exclusive artwork and things like that. And this one does occasionally, but it's lacking in that, mostly because it's a newer company. I'm pretty sure as they go on, they will start getting exclusives, but at this point, they haven't really crossed that boundary yet. So for that reason, that's why it's a little lower down, but it's still definitely worth the money. You got great value, and you get a good variety. If you're not looking for anything specific, you're not trying to collect one specific thing, and you're just looking for some fun stuff, then this is definitely worth your while, especially since you can get special incentives in each box, which makes it really cool. So again, I really love this company too. Like I said, there was not a single bad box this month. There's just, I have to be hypercritical and find at least one thing to place it on the countdown, and the lack of exclusivity is probably the only thing. Other than that, still a great box, and it's worth checking out. Alrighty, number 7. Yeah, 7. Alright, the BAM box. So a box that's done really good, and sometimes it just does okay, and I feel like this month is one of the times it did okay. They almost always have assigned something in there, whether it's the artwork or they have an actor sign something, which is good. That's what this company is known for. They specialize in their signed products. You come here. You come up. Sorry. Pup's staring at me. Come here. Get up here. Come on. Jump. Jump. Oh my gosh. So so long to decide that. Sorry, what I was saying. This company specializes in autographs. So this is one company that I've been talking about a lot, and something I've been trying to mention for 2 years, is that companies always put artwork in there, like prints or posters, but they never have an artist attached to it. It's never signed or numbered. This company always does. So that's something really great about it. If you like art prints, they always take the time to really make nice ones, and they always have at least someone sign something in there. This time we had the actor from Scream, the one that was the murderer, Skeet something. Again, I forget his name too. But that's really cool, so I was happy to get that. The only other thing in there, like some of their other stuff, is kind of filler. They do a lot of prop replicas, but they do some of the cheaper ones. Like this one, they had an S-Mart name tag, which is fine, and that's from Evil Dead, but it was just like a piece of plastic with some printing on there. And they had like a Rubik's Cube, and it's like, that's cool too, but it was kind of just filler stuff, because it's not really like high-end replicas. It's just kind of there. So, but it's not really what the box is about. It's more about the signed objects. And they do really nice pins as well. Their pins that they've been doing are really great, and those are pretty collectible too. But again, this is the reason why this one got lower down, is because it had like 2 or 3 like awesome things, and the rest was just kind of filler. And the prop replicas weren't as high quality as I've seen out there. So again, not a bad box. If you like signed stuff and you like authentic signatures, then yeah, totally check this box out. Worth your while. Alright. Puppy. Calm down. Alright, number 6. Comic Block. So the Nerd Block company has not been doing so hot as of late. But this month they really turned it around. I was pretty surprised with everything they did this month. They've been kind of crappy lately, and anyone can attest to that. They've kind of fallen off. But this month, it's not like they did like incredible by any means, but they did much better than they have been. What are you growling at me for? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Thank you. They did much better than they have been lately, and that's kind of a big step. And, you know, there's a lot of speculation as to why their company wasn't doing so well for so long, and it was always assumed that they did too many boxes and were stretching themselves too thin. But you never know. It could have been anything. They could have been hired new management. They could have changed CEOs. Something as simple as that, where the company went through a shift, so it just kind of got jumbled up for a while, and they couldn't do as good as they normally do. Who knows? But the point is, this month they did much better, and I hope they continue with that momentum. This box specifically. So I didn't take a picture of it. I had a little card here. They had 3 comics in there, which this one is more focused on comic books. That's what it's going to give you. But what I said specifically last month is, I don't like random comics. If it's exclusive, sure, pop it in there. Why not? But if it's just random comics, I'm not a big fan of that, because I don't have time to read all these new series every month. But this month, 3 comics, all exclusive. So that's what I would like to see. It's fine if you want to put more comics versus other stuff. That's totally cool. But make it worth my while. And they did. Although these weren't series that I necessarily may have read before, Champions looks cool. They had Warhammer and Serenity, which I'd never heard of before, but they were all exclusive covers. So if you happen to not like the comic, you should have no problem selling it, because it holds value when they have exclusive covers. So that was pretty nice. And the shirt was cool, and they had a print. One of the reasons why it's lower down is because they keep trying to pass their coupons off as an item. And they still did it again this month. They put a $10 off coupon in there for Shirt Punch, and that's not an item. I don't think that's supposed to be one, and the fact that they're still trying to pass it off as an item is kind of cheap. So that's part of the reason why they got lower down. And I still claim that they should focus more on comic book stuff in general and less on just comic books. I'd be fine with them putting one comic book in there and more other stuff. That's just me, though, so that's what I think. And we did get a figure in there. Nerd Block's been giving a lot of Batman figures lately, but luckily they've been doing different series, so that we're not getting any duplicates. So I can't complain about it much, but it just seems a little weird. But anyway, that's what it is. Pup, you're so cranky. What's going on? Alright, what are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. Nerd Block Classic. Ta-da! So yeah, much like the other ones, I was saying they've done much better this month. I like the shirt they had in here. It was from Treehouse of Horror. And, oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that I don't have reviews of any of the Nerd Blocks this month. From Classic, Comic, and Arcade Block, I just ran out of time and didn't have time to do individual reviews. So that's why I don't have pictures of them. So just thought I'd mention that. But, yeah, I really like the shirt in this one. Thought it was good. And they had a journal in here, which was worth a decent amount of money. And their one main exclusive item was the salt and pepper shakers, which we get a lot of in these boxes, by the way. I think they're cool just to put on display, but it's just weird that they do salt and pepper shakers specifically versus just doing, like, collectible figures. I don't know. I think it's a little weird. I'm assuming they have some kind of partnership with the company, but this box was 100% exclusive. Everything in there was exclusive. From the shaker to the shirt to the figure, like, everything in there was exclusive. Now, a lot of my stuff arrived damaged. A lot of it. Like, pretty well damaged. And I just don't have the time. Stop it. I just don't have the time to go hunt this company down and ask for all these items because it's just not really worth my while. I just don't care that much to do it. So, yeah. But we got a figure in here from Mini-Mates, and I think they call it Vinny-Mates, which is a bigger version of Mini-Mates. It was weird, but anyway, it was just cool that everything was exclusive. You got a good mix of stuff. Most of the things in here had decent value, so it was pretty cool. Like, I had no complaints about it, and it's much better than it's done lately. It's just unfortunate that some things arrived damaged, and I think this company's still trying to get their bearings again. They've been kind of falling off and back and forth, but I hope they do get their momentum back because they were once a really great company, and I hope they continue with this. More exclusive stuff, like more thought and process into it. I'd be happy to see that because I hope that they can do a lot better with some of these boxes. Alright, moving right along. Number 4, Marvel Collector Core. Mouth skin, so dry. So, this box was once fantastic as well. They do 3 different types of boxes. Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. The other 2 in the off month. This is only a bi-monthly box, so it comes every other month. But this was one of the best before, but now it's just becoming too predictable. Everything in there is just too expected. It's always expected for each one. The Marvel one, it's usually always a shirt, a pop, the patch and pin, a comic, and then one other item. So it's like you know what you're getting every month, and that just kind of takes some of the excitement out of it. Especially because after a while, a lot of the pop figures just start to look the same after a while. And it's the same with DC and the same with Star Wars. You almost know exactly what you're getting every month, and they very rarely ever change it up. And when they do, it's not that great. Like this month, they put a mug in there, which is fine, but it's like, you know, how many mugs do you really need? And the Doctor Strange pop, they had an exclusive version of it, but it was just kind of a clear version. I would have liked a more interesting paint job on it, but they just kind of went with the clear version, so I was like, okay. I don't think I kept anything from here except the shirt, and I think I sold everything else from here, so nothing wrong with this. Doctor Strange was cool. I like the character, I like the movie, that was all fine, but I just feel like they could put a little more creativity into a lot of their stuff, just in their individual products and into what they put in here. Like, I know it's a Funko box, but it doesn't have to be all pop stuff. They have a lot of different series and franchises, and you know, some of the comics and the shirts don't have to be the pop style. They can do comic book style. It is Marvel and Funko, but it seems like it's like 90% Funko and like 10% Marvel, just featured that. So I think they need to vary the line of how much Funko and how much comic book style they put in there because it's just too pop heavy all the time with all these boxes. And that's why this one got a little bit lower. There's just not enough variety. But you know, the good thing is everything in there is 100% exclusive all the time, so you can't complain too much because most of the stuff in there is pretty easy to sell if you don't want to keep it. So that's the good news. Alright, moving on. Number 3. Yes. Loot Crate Classic. This box always done pretty good. It's always pretty high up. If someone asks trying a box for the first time, this is usually what I always recommend. It's pretty cheap. It's right around 20 bucks, and you always get good value. Some of their choices are a little bit weird sometimes. They don't always have the best picks, but you always at least get what you pay for and a lot more in value, which is good. This month was horror, and this company has a lot of good partnerships. That's what I feel is the problem with the Nerd Block company. They have a lot of partnerships, but not good companies. They have them with, like, Titans is fine, but they have them with, like, Springs and whatever salt and pepper shaker company that shit's coming from. But this one has good partnerships. They have them with Funko, and they have them with Quantum Mechanics, who makes the Q-Fig. They have them with Kid Robot. Like, these are the companies I like. These are the ones that put out really awesome products, and these are the companies you want to have partnerships with. And since this company was the one that pretty much started this whole nerd, geek, box genre, they got first dibs on all the partnerships. So this month is no exception. We got an exclusive plush figure from Kid Robot, the Funny, I believe they're called. Wasn't my personal choice, but you know, it's still cool to get exclusive stuff. And the chopsticks were cool, and we got a really nice book in there, so I thought overall they did a good job. And it was obviously horror for the month of October. Excuse me. But yeah, overall I think they did a really good job, and any fan of horror would have liked everything in there. And you know, it wasn't perfect by any means. Nothing in there specifically blew me away, but I think it was a well-rounded box, and considering you're not paying that much, you really get decent value out of it. And for the most part, it's usually all exclusive, with a few exceptions here and there, but they do a good job at making it exclusive, and they definitely keep it interesting. You're definitely getting things in here that aren't super common in every box all the time. So I like that they do put a lot of creativity into it. Even the design on the inside of the box is always decorated, so really nice, well-rounded company, and I always like them. So there we go. Loot Crate Classic. How are we doing on time? Alright. Almost done. Making great time. Number 2. Ugh. Super heavy. Loot Crate DX. Just like normal Loot Crate, just bigger and a little bit fancier. So this company essentially they always have the same theme as Loot Crate each month, so this one was horror as well. I think they called it something else. It wasn't the name of the theme, but you know, it was a horror style theme. And this one, it's just same theme, but totally different products, which I appreciate, and they just do bigger stuff. This one had a little sculpture in there, had a mug, but it had like a little sculpture inside the mug, and instead of a t-shirt, we got a nice sweater, which was cool, which you don't usually get, and we got a power bank in there, so it was like upgraded stuff. And they haven't been too good on that lately. They've been putting like cheaper quality stuff, but more of it, which I say they should avoid, because we can just buy more smaller boxes. They need to put bigger items, better quality, and that's what they did this month. Like, putting in sculptures is a good idea. Basically, putting in things that aren't going to fit in a regular Loot Crate, just based on size. Sculptures, nice mugs, the sweater, like stuff like that. I think they did a good job, and everything in here was really nice, and we got good value on it, and they did a really good job this month. They don't always. This one's major flaw is that it's so expensive. It comes out to be like $50 to $55, depending on what state you're in. So it's a pretty expensive box, and it's a lot of money to risk every month. But this month, I think they did a good job, and I think it was absolutely worth it. So I think they did a really good job this month. But you know, it's kind of hit and miss, and when you're spending $50, that's too much to risk every month. So I don't know if this one's going to stay around or not. I get it every month, but I don't know if other people will. I always like it, and it's always exciting to me, but I think they're honing their skills a little more, but I like the company and I have faith in them, and I'm definitely going to try out more from this company. So there we go. That was number 2. And the number 1 spot will surprise you, no doubt, and that is Arcade Block. Now, this one would never get the number 1 spot normally. This one usually doesn't do that great at all. But this month, there was a special exception to it. So, in general, this box, it was okay. It was good. Nothing bad about it. I gave it a good score. Had great value. Had a good variety. Got another Batman figure, but no duplicates. That's cool. And everything in here with the exclusive of the Batman figure was exclusive. And they put a game code in there, but it was for a game demo, so I didn't give it any value. But even without that, it still got really good value. And it had a good mix of stuff. The pin was really cool. The reason this gets the number 1 spot is because there was an extremely rare item in there, and it's the oddest item. It's this Five Nights at Freddy's little tiny, I don't know what they call it. It's from McFarlane Toys. They're usually called nano blocks, but I'm sure McFarlane calls them something else. But it was just a little buildable figure. Doesn't even look that great. This is totally not like McFarlane to do like such like low quality toys as this one, but that's what it was, and it's apparently just crazy rare. I love McFarlane, by the way. He does the best figures I've ever seen. He's still my favorite, one of my favorite artists. Spawn's my favorite character, so I'm a die-hard fan. But to see figures like this from that company is, I wouldn't say disappointing, it's just different, because they're usually about high-end detail, and this is just so simplistic, it's borderline like below childhood level. But anyway, I guess they only did this character for this box because I was checking prices on that item, and it was not only being listed for, but selling for upwards of $50 for this one little thing, this little tiny figure thing. Why it's so sought after, I don't know. I realize Five Nights at Freddy's is a really popular franchise. Like, I get it, I understand that. But it's just like, just for that item, no matter how rare it is, I just can't believe that that's how much it's going for. So that's that, and pretty much only that is the reason it got the #1 spot. It was a good box other than that, nothing wrong with it, but that figure specifically, to get something so rare and so valuable, is the reason it's in the #1 spot this month. Normally it wouldn't be, but I had no choice but to put it up there. With that $50 figure, the box was valued at over $100, so pretty incredible and very rare that something like that ever happens, but that's kind of a fluke. This box is usually just okay. It's been crappy lately, better this month, but that figure was something really odd to see, which we pretty much never see in any box, to see something that rare and that valuable. So that's why it got the #1 spot. So there's a quick explanation of that. So yeah, that's pretty much all the boxes. We kept the time pretty short, kept it short and sweet. I hope this helped you out a little bit. I hope this helped you to hone your skills and maybe help you decide what box to get. I know since everything was good this month, it's hard to say like good versus bad, so it's more just about your personal taste, like what you personally like, what your interests are, and hopefully you saw some of that in one of these boxes. So I hope that helped. And again, check the description. And as always, I always do contests for getting subscribers. If you want to share this video anywhere, post the link on any social media, and then message me the link to wherever you post it. And I do giveaways. We have been having trouble with subscribers lately. The number's been kind of stuck the past few months, so I might have to figure another way to do my giveaway, but people are constantly sending me links. I'm still getting them, don't worry, and they're all going to get put into a hat and I'll draw a name, so I will do the giveaway one way or another. Even if we never hit 8,000 subscribers, I'll eventually do it anyway. So anyway, I hope this helped you out. This has been the monthly review of October. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. Feel free to jump in the comments. I do my best to reply to everyone, so if you have anything you want to talk about, feel free to jump in. Anyway, this has been the Beardy Nerd. Boxes of October. We're well into the month of November as far as reviews, but I'll see you again on the next review. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. Love you all. Peace.